Hello everyone, this is Wes from Resurrection Auto, and I've just purchased a 2013 Nissan Rogue. I got this car because the previous owner was experiencing transmission issues. It has a CVT transmission, and so this video is just meant to describe what I found on this particular vehicle, and maybe along the way it'll be helpful to you. Before we get started, I want to let you know that I'm a Christian, and I shot this video first and foremost because I hope it provides you with some help with your vehicle, but also so that you could see just a little bit about what Christianity is all about. I'll post a link at the very end of this video if you want to take a look. Nonetheless, let's get started with this repair. All right, so again, I bought this car. I paid just $1,300 for this Nissan Rogue. It's got 88,000 miles on it. It's actually in really quite good shape. It's a nice looking car. Engine bay is nice and clean. But the owner said that the transmission was going out, so I towed it home, you know, assuming that was the case. When I got it home, I took it for a short drive. It was making horrible noises. Check engine light on for transmission code. And so started doing some digging around and found that in the glove box of this car, the transmission showed that it had been rebuilt about a year ago. The previous owner apparently had paid over $2,000 to have the transmission rebuilt. And so that was pretty curious to me as to why this thing is failing so quickly again. And so I checked the dipstick fluid, and you should do this if you're having problems with your CVT, because I wanted to inspect the quality of the fluid as far as what it looks like. Was it dark or still clear? But I also wanted to check the level of the fluid. And I immediately found that this transmission was a solid quart low on transmission fluid. And for a CVT, that will definitely create all kinds of problems. Also, if you have dirty fluid, it will create a lot of problems as well. So I replaced that 1 quart, took it for a drive. The car drove very well. It still had a little noise, but it was much reduced. Got it back home and I found that it had a transmission leak. So in my garage here, I noticed that it was a little puddle of transmission fluid. And so I said, okay, clearly I've got a problem here with a leak. I thought it was the transmission pan. So I decided that I would take a closer look. I got down underneath, and I'll try to show you as best I can here. Let me get my light positioned for you. All right, when I got underneath here, I noticed that there was a lot of fluid. Let's see if I can get you a shot here. A lot of fluid on the pan, on the back of the pan. There's actually a drip there if you can see it from the last time I drove it. So I said, oh, okay, I think it might be a problem with the pan. Then I noticed up here that there was some transmission fluid a little higher up. And I said, okay, it's not the pan. I noticed that it was coming from the axle here. So I thought, okay, I've got probably a bad axle seal. That explains the leak, not the noise, but at least the leak. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to take care of that. And then when I took the wheel off this morning, I think I found the actual problem with this transmission. Apparently, and if I can hopefully get you a shot here, apparently when they did this repair on the transmission a year ago, I can't quite show you. It's really difficult underneath here. Let's see if I can get some better. There we go. You'll notice that they did not put the axle all the way back in the transmission. It's actually outside. And so the flange there of the seal is not engaged, and that axle is not fully engaged, which creates the leak, and I'm willing to bet it also created the noise as well. And so that's the problem with this Nissan Rogue. Now, I know that your Nissan may not have the same problem. That's pretty unique. And I think I ended up with a really good deal on this vehicle. So let's say you're having a problem with your transmission on your Nissan. Couple of things you can do preliminary to try to make a quick repair without spending a ton of money. First thing you want to do is visibly inspect your fluid. If it's low, then you need to add it, and you want to make sure that you're going to add the right type. If you add the wrong type of transmission fluid, it'll just torch the transmission immediately. So make sure you either go to the Nissan dealership or if you buy an aftermarket, that it is specifically for this vehicle. So make sure it's at the right level, not too high, not too low. If you are able to, go ahead and change the fluid. So in this case, underneath where I showed you a minute ago in the drain pan, there's a plug. You can just drain out what's in there. replace it. It's going to run you probably $50, $60 to get the fluid done. You can also do the filter if you're a little bit better mechanic, and you may find that the transmission comes back to life. So I just want to show you this. I know that's a little bit bizarre, and but you know, you really have to look at what mechanic shops do sometimes, because the owner of this vehicle spent, I think he originally paid $7,000 for the vehicle, spent $2,200 in a transmission rebuild, and ended up selling the car for $1,300. And all that probably needs to be done is that axle needs to be reseated, and this car, I think, is back on the road. So hey, thanks for watching. I mentioned at the early part of this video that I'm a Christian, and I truly want you to be helped by the videos that I shoot with your car repairs. But also I want you to just know a little something about Christianity, because it's made all the difference in the world to me. And so I'll shoot a link up in this top here if you want to check that out. I'd sure appreciate it. Hey, thanks for watching, and God bless.